The future stars, the 2-year-olds. That sequence concludes on Fridays with a very, very good race. The Breeders' Cup, Juvenile, and Jackie's Warrior, perhaps the biggest favorite on the entire 2-day sequence, will be trying to showcase his talents around 2 turns. The best way to play the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, all the Breeders' Cup races, and all the action throughout the year, all around the country, all around the world, is through NYRA If you're not a member, head on over to NYRABets.com. Use the promo code CUP25, free $25 bet, and we'll match up to $200 of your initial deposit. A big overflow field in this Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but make no mistakes, the number 7, Jackie's Warrior, 7-5 on the line, is the one to beat, and he has been ultra impressive, winning up at Saratoga, the Saratoga Special, winning the Hopeful, winning the Champagne, and he does them all the same way. He flaunts his speed, and he wins easily, and he's been able to beat the very, very talented Reinvestment Risk in both of those races. And make no mistake, without him around, Reinvestment Risk would be a 2-time Grade 1 winner and probably the favorite in here. Jackie's Warrior is absolutely the horse to beat, and his speed makes him very dangerous. But I think you have to ask yourself, with the number 8 Classier to his outside, who has significant speed for Bob Baffert, and the number 10 horse outside of him, and that's Dreamer's Disease for Robertino Diodoro, 1 of 2 for Robertino Diodoro, and not necessarily the stronger one. Are one or both of those horses going to go after Jackie's Warrior in here and perhaps make his life difficult as he tries to stretch to 2 turns at 1 mile and 1/16? And I think that's a reasonable question. And in doing that, Reinvestment Risk does not have to be the hunter anymore. With his inside post, post number 3, he can just sort of sit back, drop towards the inside, sit 5th or 6th in here, and perhaps there's more work being done in the front end. And instead of having to attack Jackie's Warrior for much of the race, he can sit back comfortably and make one run. And I think this is the best opportunity that Reinvestment Risk has had or will have to beat the number 7 Jackie's Warrior. It won't be easy, but I think he has a real chance to turn the tables and win another Juvenile for trainer Chad Brown, who won it with good magic after he had finished 2nd in the Champagne at Belmont. Not the only horses in this race, though. How about Essential Quality's performance in winning the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland over this track? He was very, very good, and he was like an international they knew that day. But he was just dominant in here. What can you say? An 88 Beyer figure. He was good. Took a huge step forward, stretching out in his 2nd start for Brad Cox. Now, a very, very different pace scenario in this race. Not only does he have Jackie's Warrior, but some other speeds. So he's not going to be right on top of the pace. If he tries to do that, he's probably not going to win this race. Is he good enough? Can he run a faster race? Can he rate effectively? These are all questions he'll have to answer, but make no mistake, he's a very talented runner, and a win at Keeneland certainly doesn't work against him. How about Sitting on Go for trainer Dale Romans, who, much like his filly in the Juvenile Fillies, he has not run since early September. Now, this is a move that did not work for Dale last year with a favorite. Will it work here? I like Sitting on Go's effort. He absolutely blew by the field, and this was not a bad field. He's a very talented runner, and it feels like he should not have any problem stretching to 2 turns at a distance as 1 mile and 1/16. I also think, as we talked about before, the pace could get kind of hot up front, and he feels like a horse that could absolutely come running at the end. Sitting on Go is very much in my play for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Now, another horse who might be able to close if the pace gets hot is Rombauer. We'll take a look at Rombauer. He's really the only horse coming in from California. He did not draw well in here, though, drawing post 13. And other horses drew much more favorably, other probably better horses than him that have a clothing running style. His best chance is if this race completely collapses, but also if that happens, does Sitting on Go fail to show up, and maybe even Reinvestment Risk, but perhaps he'll be a little bit closer up there. He ran fine in here. He couldn't seal the deal, but I thought he made a very nice run. He's a solid runner, but he'd have to improve. Will he get enough pace? It does, though, seem like trainer Mike McCarthy, his horses have run well when he's been shipping out of town, Oaklawn at Kentucky, and I never want to discount his runners. He's a very, very solid trainer. One more horse to look at is Likable. Likable comes out of a maiden win for Todd Pletcher and Mike Rapoli, and it was a very impressive win. He's obviously very talented. I don't like that Rational Choice, who finished 2nd, did not run particularly well in a subsequent start, but I don't want to hold that against Likable. But what's Likable going to do in this Breeders' Cup? He's not going to be able to deal with Jackie's Warrior early and beat the field. If he tries that, he's going to finish nowhere, so he's got to rate. We don't know if he can really do that effectively. He's a very forward horse, an ambitious spot for his connections, but I just think they may have bitten off more than they can chew. But he was impressive aggressive in that maiden win, and he obviously is a talented runner. I'm trying to beat Jackie's Warrior with reinvestment risk and sitting on go. I would use all three of them in multi-race bets, but I think the pace could get a little hot. Reinvestment risk might finally get the right trip and get it done here. Sitting on go also scares me a lot. Jackie's Warrior, he's absolutely the most talented runner in this field so far. He's going to take a lot of beating, but the pace could get hot, and the 5 essential quality for Brad Cox off his win in the Breeders' Futurity. Can't wait for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Can't wait for all the Breeders' Cup races, and the best way to play them, I know I'll be playing them on NYRA Bets, and you should as well. Support racing, keep the money in the game, support New York racing, play through NYRA Bets, use the promo code CUP25, and we'll give you a free $25 bet, as well as matching up to $200 of your initial deposit.